Firstly, turn off the power to the bathroom at the circuit breaker or fuse panel. Double check that the power is off by using a non-contact voltage tester on the wires. Remove the fixture by unscrewing the wall sconces and removing them from the wall. At the junction box behind the sconce, locate the wires connected to the fixture. Typically, there will be two wires which are black and white and a bare copper ground wire. Use a screwdriver to loosen the terminal screws and disconnect the wires. Using wire nuts, cap the ends of the wires to prevent accidental contact. Black wires go with black nuts, white wires with white nuts, and ground wires with green or bare nuts. Coil the capped wires neatly and secure them inside the junction box using electrical tape. Install a junction box cover plate over the box to conceal the wires. If you are concerned about potential arcing or overheating, you can also wrap the junction box in electrical tape before installing the cover plate. For added peace of mind, you can use a non-flammable sealant to seal any gaps around the junction box and wires. Take photos of the wiring before disconnecting it for future reference. If you plan to reinstall the sconces in the future, leave enough wire length in the junction box for connecting. Firstly, identifying the wires is crucial for safe handling. Typically, you'll encounter black, white, and ground wires. Black wires are usually the hot wires, carrying the electrical current from the breaker panel to the fixture. White wires are neutral wires, providing a return path for the current. Ground wires, usually bare copper or green, offer a safety path for fault currents, preventing electrical shock. Secondly, wire nuts are essential for safely capping the wires. These small insulated caps screw onto the exposed ends of the wires, providing a secure and insulated connection. Ensure you use the correct size wire nut for the number and gauge of wires you are connecting. Thirdly, the junction box serves as a protective enclosure for the wiring connections. It prevents accidental contact with the wires and helps contain any potential electrical fires. The junction box must be properly installed and secured to the wall. Fourthly, electrical tape provides an extra layer of insulation and protection. Wrapping the capped wires with electrical tape helps prevent moisture and dust from entering the connections, ensuring a long-lasting and safe installation. Fifthly, double-checking the power is off is important. Before you begin any electrical work, always turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker panel. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that the power is indeed off before touching any wires. One common mistake is not using the correct size wire nuts. If the wire nuts are too small, they may not securely grip the wires, leading to loose connections and potential hazards. If they are too large, they may not provide adequate insulation. Another mistake is not properly tightening the terminal screws. Loose terminal screws can cause the wires to overheat and create a fire hazard. Ensure that all terminal screws are tightened securely but not over-tightened. Another mistake is neglecting to ground the circuit. Grounding is a critical safety measure that helps prevent electrical shock. Make sure that the ground wire is properly connected to the junction box and the electrical system. Overlooking these steps can lead to serious electrical hazards. Firstly, it is crucial to understand the basics of electrical wiring. Electrical wiring involves a system of conductors that carry electrical current from the power source to the various devices and appliances in your home. These conductors are typically made of copper or aluminum and are insulated to prevent electrical shock. Secondly, the National Electrical Code or NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for safe electrical installations. The NEC covers various aspects of electrical wiring, including conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, grounding, and wiring methods. Thirdly, circuit breakers and fuses are essential safety devices that protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. Circuit breakers are resettable switches that trip open when the current exceeds the rated value, while fuses are one-time devices that melt and break the circuit. Fourthly, grounding is a critical safety measure that helps prevent electrical shock. Grounding provides a low-resistance path for fault currents to flow back to the power source, tripping the circuit breaker or blowing the fuse. Fifthly, electrical boxes, also known as junction boxes, are enclosures that protect wiring connections from damage and prevent accidental contact. Electrical boxes are typically made of metal or plastic and are available in various sizes and shapes. Several different tools are essential for safe and effective electrical work. Firstly, wire strippers are used to remove the insulation from electrical wires without damaging the conductor. Secondly, pliers are used for gripping, bending, and cutting wires. Thirdly, screwdrivers are used to tighten and loosen screws on electrical devices and equipment. Fourthly, a voltage tester is used to verify that the power is off before working on electrical circuits. Fifthly, a multimeter is used to measure voltage, current, and resistance in electrical circuits. Various wiring methods are used in residential electrical installations. Firstly, non-metallic sheath cable, also known as Romex, is commonly used for general purpose wiring in dry locations. Secondly, metallic conduit, such as ENT or rigid conduit, is used for wiring in exposed or damp locations. Thirdly, armored cable, also known as BX, is used for wiring in areas where the cable may be subject to physical damage. Fourthly, underground feeder or UF cable is used for underground wiring applications. Fifthly, flexible metal conduit is used for connecting electrical devices and equipment that require movement or vibration. Understanding electrical circuits is essential for troubleshooting and repairing electrical problems. Firstly, a series circuit is a circuit in which the components are connected in a single path, so the current is the same through all components. Secondly, a parallel circuit is a circuit in which the components are connected in multiple paths, so the voltage is the same across all components. Thirdly, a series parallel circuit is a combination of series and parallel circuits. Fourthly, an open circuit is a circuit in which there is a break in the path, so no current can flow. Fifthly, a short circuit is a circuit in which there is a low resistance path that allows excessive current to flow. Several common electrical problems can occur in residential electrical systems. Firstly, tripped circuit breakers are a common problem that can be caused by overloaded circuits or short circuits. Secondly, flickering lights can be caused by loose connections, faulty switches, or voltage fluctuations. Thirdly, dead outlets can be caused by tripped circuit breakers, loose connections, or faulty outlets. Fourthly, electrical shocks can be caused by faulty wiring, damaged appliances, or wet conditions. Fifthly, electrical fires can be caused by overloaded circuits, faulty wiring, or flammable materials near electrical equipment. Safety tips for working with electricity are crucial for preventing electrical accidents. Firstly, always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Secondly, use insulated tools and equipment. Thirdly, never work on electrical circuits in wet conditions. Fourthly, inspect electrical cords and plugs for damage before using them. Fifthly, do not overload electrical outlets or circuits. Overloading an electrical circuit can cause the wires to overheat, potentially leading to a fire. To prevent overloading, avoid plugging too many devices into a single outlet or extension cord. Use a power strip with a built-in circuit breaker to distribute the load and protect against overloads. Also, consider upgrading your electrical panel to increase the capacity of your electrical system if you frequently experience tripped circuit breakers. Loose connections are a common cause of electrical problems, including flickering lights and dead outlets. Over time, the screws and terminals that secure the wires and outlets, switches, and light fixtures can loosen, creating a poor electrical connection. To prevent loose connections, periodically check the tightness of the screws and terminals in your electrical devices. Use a screwdriver to gently tighten any loose connections, but be careful not to over-tighten them, as this can damage the wires or the device. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are life-saving devices that protect against electrical shock. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults, which occur when electricity flows through an unintended path, such as through a person's body. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI trips and cuts off the power to the circuit, preventing a potentially fatal electrical shock. GFCIs are commonly installed in bathrooms, kitchens, and other areas where water is present. Electrical codes and regulations are in place to ensure the safety of electrical installations. These codes and regulations specify the requirements for wiring methods, materials, and equipment. Adhering to electrical codes helps prevent electrical hazards and ensures that electrical systems are installed safely and correctly. Local building departments typically enforce electrical codes and conduct inspections to verify compliance. Proper wiring techniques are essential for safe and reliable electrical installations. When making wire connections, always use the correct size and type of wire connectors for the application. Ensure that the wire insulation is stripped back properly to expose the correct amount of conductor. Twist the wires together tightly before applying the wire connector and make sure the connector is securely tightened. When running wires through walls or ceilings, protect them from damage by using cable staples or clamps. Regular electrical maintenance is important for preventing electrical problems and ensuring the safety of your electrical system. Schedule a professional electrical inspection at least every few years to identify any potential hazards or code violations. Check your electrical panel for signs of corrosion, damage, or overheating. Replace any damaged or worn-out electrical components promptly. Keep electrical panels and equipment clean and free of dust and debris. Consider surge protection to protect your electronic devices from voltage spikes. Voltage spikes can damage sensitive electronic equipment, such as computers, televisions, and home theater systems. Surge protectors are designed to absorb excess voltage and prevent it from reaching your devices. Install surge protectors at the electrical panel to protect the entire electrical system, and use plug-in surge protectors for individual devices. When working with electricity, it is important to have a basic understanding of electrical theory. Electricity is the flow of electrons through a conductor. Voltage is the electrical potential difference between 2 points in a circuit. Current is the rate of flow of electrons. Resistance is the opposition to the flow of current. Ohm's law states that voltage is equal to current times resistance. Power is the rate at which electrical energy is used or dissipated. Watts are the unit of measurement for power. Knowing your limits is crucial for electrical safety. If you are not comfortable performing a particular electrical task, or if you are unsure about any aspect of the work, do not hesitate to call a licensed electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is always better to err on the side of caution. A professional electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. Knowing when to call an electrician can save you time, money, and potential hazards. Electrical work is not a place for guessing or experimenting. If you encounter any unusual smells, sounds, or sensations while working with electricity, stop immediately and call an electrician. Do not attempt to troubleshoot or repair electrical problems if you are not qualified to do so. Remember, safety should always be your top priority when working with electricity. The NEC Table 310.15b16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. Ampacity refers to a maximum amount of current a conductor can carry continuously without exceeding its temperature rating. This table is used to determine the appropriate size conductor for a given electrical load. NEC Article 250 covers grounding and bonding requirements for electrical systems. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault currents, which helps to protect against electrical shock and fire hazards. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of an electrical system are electrically connected, which also helps to minimize the risk of electrical shock. NEC Article 408 covers switchboards and panel boards. Switchboards and panel boards are used to distribute electrical power to various circuits in a building. These devices must be properly sized and protected to prevent overloads and short circuits. NEC Article 430 covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers. Motors are used in a wide variety of applications, from powering appliances to driving industrial equipment. Motor circuits must be properly designed and protected to prevent overheating and damage. NEC Article 547 covers agricultural buildings. Agricultural buildings often have unique electrical requirements due to the presence of dust, moisture, and corrosive substances. Special wiring methods and equipment are required to ensure safety and reliability in these environments. NEC Article 690 covers solar photovoltaic or PV systems. PV systems convert sunlight into electricity and are becoming increasingly popular as a renewable energy source. PV systems must be installed in accordance with the NEC to ensure safety and prevent electrical hazards. When working with electrical boxes, it is important to choose the right size and type for the application. Electrical boxes are available in various sizes, shapes, and materials. The size of the box must be large enough to accommodate the number and size of the wires that will be installed in it. The type of box must be appropriate for the location and environment. For example, weatherproof boxes are required for outdoor installations. When installing electrical boxes, make sure they are securely mounted to a solid surface. Use screws or nails to attach the box to a stud, joist, or other structural member. The box should be flush with the finished surface of the wall or ceiling. Do not leave any gaps around the box, as this could allow moisture or pests to enter. When making wire connections in electrical boxes, use wire connectors that are listed for the application. Wire connectors are available in various types, including wire nuts, crimp connectors, and push-in connectors. Choose the type of connector that is appropriate for the size and type of wires you are connecting. Make sure the connectors are properly installed and tightened to ensure a secure and reliable connection. When running wires through electrical boxes, protect them from damage by using cable clamps or bushings. Cable clamps are used to secure the cable to the box and prevent it from being pulled out. Bushings are used to protect the wires from abrasion as they pass through the knockout holes in the box. When working with electrical panels, it is important to follow all safety precautions. Electrical panels contain high-voltage components that can be dangerous if not handled properly. Always turn off the power to the panel before removing the cover. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses. When working inside the panel, be careful not to touch any of the exposed wires or components. If you are not comfortable working with electrical panels, call a licensed electrician. When installing circuit breakers in electrical panels, make sure they are properly sized for the circuit they are protecting. Circuit breakers are designed to trip when the current exceeds the rated value, protecting the circuit from overloads and short circuits. Use the correct size breaker for the wire size and the load that will be connected to the circuit. When labeling circuit breakers in electrical panels, use clear and accurate descriptions. This will make it easier to identify the correct breaker in the event of a problem. Use a permanent marker or label maker to create the labels. Write the description of the circuit on the label, such as kitchen lights or living room outlets. Affix the label to the breaker in a clear and visible location. When testing electrical circuits, use a reliable voltage tester or multimeter. These instruments are used to measure voltage, current, and resistance in electrical circuits. Before testing any circuit, make sure the power is turned off. Use the tester to verify that the power is off before touching any of the wires or components. When using a multimeter, select the appropriate range and function for the measurement you are taking. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for using the instrument. When troubleshooting electrical problems, start by checking the simplest things first. Check to see if a circuit breaker has tripped or a fuse has blown. Check to see if a switch is turned off or a plug is disconnected. Look for any obvious signs of damage or wear, such as frayed wires or loose connections. If you cannot find the problem, call a licensed electrician. When making electrical repairs, use only approved materials and methods. Use wire connectors that are listed for the application. Use wire that is the correct size and type for the circuit. Follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you are not sure how to make a repair safely, call a licensed electrician. When working with electricity, always be aware of your surroundings. Keep children and pets away from the work area. Do not work in wet or damp conditions. Do not work alone. If you are working in a confined space, make sure there is adequate ventilation. Do not work if you are tired or under the influence of drugs or alcohol. If you are unsure about anything, ask for help.